Nope.
And that's a lot coming from me, because I only love two things, and that's food and sleep. And I've not been getting enough recently, so I don't have love to share in spades right now. How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah.
It's my first time out here. I'm having a good time. I'm excited. But usually when someone asks me how I'm doing lately, I've been trying to switch it up instead of going, I'm alive, you know. I've been going, I'm living the dream. It's, you know, they just don't have to know that that dream is back pain. And it haunts my every waking moment. And for those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Alan. I am a non-binary, pansexual, non-monogamous idiot, which means my pronouns are fuck around and find out. So, if you're feeling a bit risky, take that gamble. But recently, I've come upon a modern problem, and that's approaching dirty talk. And you can't really come up to me and go, oh man, you're such a bad girl, because you're liable to get punched in the face. And you can't call me a bad boy, because it sounds like you're trying to feed me tweets and take me for walkies, and I'm not really about that life. I'm like, I'm good. So I've been really thinking about it, and I've been going down the list, and I've been trying to figure out, what could I do? How do I tackle this problem? What could be potentially starting my engine? And I was like, thinking, you're such a bad? No. You're such a good. You're a good. You're good. You know, you're good. You're such a naughty so-and-so. Who's my dirty little buckaroo? My scrunkly little pal. Who's my rotten soldier? My sweet cheese, my good time boy. But really it all boils down to fucking around and finding out. Speaking of fucking around and finding out, I now live in Northampton, and you would not believe the stuff that I see from day to day just working, sitting outside. And sometimes it's lovely, it's beautiful, and sometimes I wish I could use bleach to clean my eyes. And this one time I saw this lovely couple, an older lesbian couple, just enjoying the nightlife. They might have been a little too drunk, but they were hip and hip, hugging on each other, walking around, and I'm just sitting in the chair and I'm like, this is fine. You know, go get it, girl. Have some fun. And they stop no farther than 2 feet off the curb away from me and just start right in front of me, just macking lips, kissing face, slurping cheeks, and I was like, you couldn't have picked like an alley around the corner, you couldn't have waited until you're out of my eyesight, so I like politely looked away, and when I looked back, they were on the car and they were kissing again, and I was like, you get it, in public, you get it. And I look away, and I look back, and now one is leaning on the hood, and the leg is up, and it's getting touchy, and there's a family walking by with a stroller and some grandparents, and I'm just watching this unfold, and I look away, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I look back, and now one has the other's hair like this. She's leaning over the curb in front of this shiny white Mercedes, just on their shoes, just throwing up I'm trying not to watch this disaster unfold in front of me at my job. I'm like, I have to be professional. I can't watch. And I start taking out my phone. I'm like, I can't watch. And you can hear it. And I'm just like, listen to the pop music. And I can hear Blinding Lights is on. And all I hear is, bah! I'm like, thank you, weekend. Because that's what I need right now. And then, finally, the puking is done, and I turn back around one last time, and they're kissing again. And I'm just sitting in my chair and I feel a shiver down my spine. I'm like, if that's not love, man, what is? What is? Oh my goodness. I know I have this whole book. It says plans for world domination, so you know I'm really like into the business.
No.
It's on the docket here. Speaking of disasters, we all have that one friend. We may have them now, or we may have had them growing up.
No.
But they really brought out you, the real you, the wild in you, the you that you probably want to bury deep, deep down inside and never think about again. But I was thinking about it again, and I probably shouldn't have because it got me wondering whatever happened to the mound of muffin that I threw out the window that day. It was your common sleepover, you know, the one where you stand in the hallway with your friend behind you like, Mom, I have a question. Can they sleep over? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever, I got you mini muffins. Have fun, have a ball. And it's like 10 in the morning now, and we're just like, what are we gonna do with all these mini muffins? And I was like, you know what would be a grand idea if I just took this whole dozen of mini muffins, chewed them up real quick, turned them into a big mushy ball, and threw it out the window as hard as I could at my neighbor's house. Because the way that my house is set up is that there's a balcony, and out that balcony, it's literally parallel to the neighbor's roof. And I was like, I can do it. I can make that throw. I totally can do it. Watch me. And my friend was just like, you can do this! Fucking do it, dude! You got this! And I'm reeling up with this ball of mush muffin, and I'm going back for it, and I go, ah! And I watch it, and I watch it, and it goes, and it starts falling short, and I'm like, no, 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 no! And I hear this loud splat, and a car alarm starts going off. I had landed it right on the windshield of my neighbor's pickup truck. So immediately I pull the window shut and I get off and I'm like, we have to go now. And they're like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, I didn't do it. I couldn't make it. We need to go. And all of a sudden, I can hear someone outside going, what the fuck is this? I'm just like, let's go. We ran down the stairs so fast that I almost slipped and fell. Pro tip, don't wear socks on wood stairs. And that friend of mine influenced me to do so many things in my life that I probably should have gotten in trouble for, but never really did. I wonder if they ever figured out who threw the muffin. I wonder if they just chalked it up to some random teenager in Springfield just being an asshole one day and was like, eat shit, bro. And it was just like, whatever, dude, it's Springfield. What are you gonna do about it? But the school systems were no better. Growing up, I could get away with anything I wanted to do, and I didn't know if it was because they were tired of dealing with me and they didn't get paid enough, or they were just like, whatever, you're like, we should put you in the special classes, but your grades tell us otherwise, so just you be you. For real, I was that kid in the class, I was like, I'm not gonna take off my raccoon hat and my raccoon fingerless gloves, you can't make me. And the teacher was like, whatever, you're fucking 13 years old, I don't get paid enough for this. And I was like, yeah, that's right, suck my dick. And everyone in the class was like, who is this? Why are they here? And the teacher's like, I don't know, Billy, I don't fucking know either. Like, I just want them to be put in the other class. You know it was bad when I'm in the normal classes and I'm getting bullied by the kids in the special class. That's when you know it was a problem. But I remember one time, and it was the only time that I was cool, and it lasted for maybe a day and a half. But I was in the basement in the remedial class because, yeah, that's just about as much as you would expect. But I'm in the remedial class and all of a sudden I hear a, oh my God, there's a mouse! From the hallway outside, and the door flings open and there's just like, there's a mouse in the hallway! And I vault over the table, take off my beanie, and I book it out the class. And I go out into the hall and I'm like, nobody move! I'm here to save the day. And I literally take my hat and I go, swoop, scoop up the mouse, and I run it out the door like I've got a hot bag of shit in my hands. And I just take the freaking hat and I go, fly, child! And it launches the mouse, and you can see this poor creature's just flailing in the air, doesn't know what the fuck just happened. The blue blur of a hat and a screaming child launched its ass into the air. It hits the ground and bolts across the parking lot. And when I enter the fucking school, everyone turns to me and goes, what the fuck is your problem? And I'm like, yo, just call me the rat catcher, you're fucking welcome. And I just went back to class and everyone was like, what the hell just happened? The table was knocked over, the teacher was like, can you just fucking learn about the Mesopotamian people, please? Like, that's all you needed to do today. You didn't have to be a rat catcher. And I remember in the exact same school, we used to have scholastic book fairs growing up. Did you guys remember getting those, like, paper magazines?
Yeah.
And going through them and being like, yeah, I wish I was rich enough to afford these books. But I can dream and ask my parents for them, and they'll still tell me, no, you can go to the library if you want to read. I'm just like, it's not the same, Mom. But I was such an unassuming kid at the time that they just let it fly. And I walk into the scholastic book fair, and I'm like perusing around, and I'm like, God, I wish I could afford any of this. But I got on this big baggy coat, and I'm like, what if I just start stuffing books in my coat? And I do it again, and I do it again, and I'm looking around and no one's stopping me, and there's like 2 other kids and the fucking librarian's on their phone, and I'm just stuffing books into my coat. And by the time I'm done, I'm waddling out of this book fair with pockets that sound like they're full of rocks, rich with goodies, prime and chunky and a little bit pointy, walking out of the fucking book fair just like, I'll see you tomorrow, fellas. And I go back to my class and I shake out my shirt and all of this shit just falls out on the desk and everyone's like, oh my God, your parents let you get all that? And I'm like, it's no fucking business how I got all this, Tiffany, mind your own business. Get dunked on, you poor bitch. And speaking of being a poor bitch, I was never able to pay for those pay-to-play permission slips where you give the teacher like $40 and you get to go to Boston to see a play. But I was like, there's no way in fucking hell you can stop me from going to see this play. So I thought it was a genius idea. I thought I was so fucking smart. I was like, yeah, I'm totally flying under the radar in my bright-ass raccoon hat and my hoodie, just standing out in the middle of this line, hiding behind the fattest kids in my class to try to blend in. And I'm just like, no one will see me here. And the fucking school administrator comes around the corner and looks me dead in the eyes and goes, you gonna have fun on that school field trip? I'm just like, yes, okay, and just walks away. And I get all the way to the goddamn playhouse before they realize that I'm not even supposed to be there. And they're just like, well, we can't make you sit on the bus, so I guess you get a free ticket to see A Christmas Carol. And I'm like, hell yeah, Christmas in July. I can't fucking wait. Speaking of Christmas in July, I watched a spicy little movie with my family during the holiday season. Somebody had finally come back from being in New Zealand after 2 years of the pandemic, and we were so happy to see him. And it's like my grandfather's son and me, and we're like, let's watch a movie. And no one told me what the movie would be until after I sat down. And before I sat down, my grandmother approached me, and she gingerly put her hand on my shoulder and went, "Are you sure you want to watch this? It's going to be intense." And I did not expect what happened next. So the movie turned out to be The Lighthouse, starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. And I'm sitting there, and I'm watching the film. It's in black and white, and halfway through, there is a masturbation scene in a shed. 10 minutes later, there's another one, and this time it's Willem Dafoe coming on Batman's face. And I'm just like, what in God's name? And then the third one happens, and then I'm just like, now I understand what she meant by it was going to be intense. I did not expect this, and I learned. And I now know Willem Dafoe has a huge cock. And watching The Lighthouse and knowing this fact has severely changed every Spider-Man film with Willem Dafoe in it for the rest of my life, because you know Aunt May was Green Goblin that cock. But anyway, I've been Alan.